Hey you, yeah you who clicked on this video. Thanks for giving our channel a shot. And if you will, please do us the honor of watching the video all the way through. Appreciate it. Now onto the video. With Marvel Phase 4 behind us and a really lackluster start to Phase 5, the destruction and complete obliteration of the Snyderverse, and a lot of superhero properties underperforming, such as Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in its opening weekend, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania basically being a flop for Marvel, and a really tepid response to a lot of upcoming projects and a lot of projects being restarted, reshot, and redone, such as the Blade reboot. We can definitely see, and I know this is going to hurt a lot of people's feelings, but we can see that the superhero film is dying. And to be honest with you, at least in my perspective, this is a premature death. This has to do with, not respecting the fans, not respecting source material, taking those audiences that brought billion-dollar payouts for granted, and partially, due to the pandemic, because the superhero movie didn't need to die. We saw that based on the performance of Spider-Man No Way Home, that the superhero genre, if done correctly, can still shine and be a billion-dollar endeavor. But what's happening is that Hollywood is so arrogant and bullish when it comes to using the superhero genre, especially when it comes to television and film, as a springboard to push certain ideologies that are just not as mainstream as people would like you to believe. I mean, you have look no further than the current boycotts of a certain beverage that are going on because a certain person is the spokesperson, or was the spokesperson. I mean, really what we have here is almost I would say, a failure to communicate. The audience is trying to communicate what they want out of their entertainment products and properties, and the people that make these types of works are just not hearing them. Hollywood is not hearing them, and any efforts to pivot away from the ideologies that divide audiences are falling on deaf ears. But as we know in any other business endeavor, that if a void is left open too long, something will come across to fill that void. Well, what is that for the Hollywood film industry? Well, if you've been paying attention, you notice that not all films are doing poorly. The Mario movie has crossed $1 billion. And with that being said, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on where I think genre television and film is headed in the wake of the superhero genre basically falling out of vogue. So where I'm seeing things going, especially with the success of movies like Sonic, Sonic 2, and Mario, is that the video game film, previously regarded as a failure and just something that the general audience didn't want to see, is now ripe for exploitation, essentially. But I mean, the movies that we have gotten have been entertaining. Sonic 2, Mario movie have not only been able to play upon the nostalgia of millennials and late Gen Xers, but also able to draw in those people's children, my children especially. They love Sonic, both Sonic movies. They loved the Mario movie. And it's interesting that in this time of division, these kind of movies serve to do what Marvel and DC were able to do early on when we first started getting the renaissance of the superhero movie, which is bring families and fans together in one place, in one cinema, and really reap those benefits of repeat sales and new audiences and invigorating people's interest in these properties. And what's interesting is that the more money, see, Hollywood loves trends, and if the trend is video game movies, they're going to try to get up on it. But the thing that might be hampering them, but also might be good for the fans, is the current writer strike. Now you say, how would a writer strike help foster good films? Well, I'm going to deal with this in a separate video, but The writer's strike is interesting. This isn't 2007 when the original writer's strike happened and really just hurt Hollywood, because there was a surplus of good material out there. There was good product out there for people to consume on an entertainment level. And now that's not the case. And yet these writers are still striking. Now, I'm not against people trying to get their bag. By all means, do what you got to do. But at the same time, it's also not really wise to ask your boss for a raise and for added benefits and considerations when the money isn't flowing in. And that's really what's happening with the strike. And because of that, we see that the owners of these entertainment properties, such as the owners of Mario, that being Nintendo, the owners of Sonic, and the owners of all these other video game properties, will have more of a say in how these movies get made and what content is in them. And that's going to be of benefit to the fans of this material. And I think that it's going to really help as far as ushering in a renaissance of gaming film that is going to really foster a new trust between filmmaking and the fan. With that being said, there's an often overlooked genre that might be on the come up very, very soon. Why do I say that? Because it dovetails within the writer's strike yet again. And what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about and I'm guilty of this too, but the often bemoaned genre of anime adaptations. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean live action adaptations, but bringing animated films, in particular Japanese anime, to the big screen. We've seen success come from the Demon Slayer films that really have done very, very well. The Jujutsu Kaisen movie performed very well. And I have a feeling that some live action adaptations are actually going to make a profit. Say what you will about the Knights of the Zodiac, aka Saint Seiya live action adaptation. I think that might do well. Despite some people comparing it to Dragon Ball Evolution, I really don't see that comparison. I think that this was done with a lot more love and care than that abortion that was Dragon Ball Evolution. But also, I think that the turning point will end up being, surprisingly enough, the One Piece series coming. I think it's coming out of Netflix. And the reason that I say that this is going to be different in general is because the creator of this series, Ichiro Oda, has a direct hand in cultivating this adaptation. So much so that he has already proclaimed that if it's not to his standards, it will not come out. And I think with more creators having that direct hand in these adaptations and not letting Hollywood just go buck wild, I really feel like we're in a really good position. So I think that between the gaming adaptation and the anime adaptation, that's really where the future is when it comes to entertainment and to genre entertainment, despite the superhero genre looking like it's on its last leg with one leg in the grave, as people say. So let me know what you guys think about this, whether or not you believe that that the gaming adaptation and the anime adaptation are the future, or whether you think that the superhero genre still has plenty of life left in it and this is just a rough spot. Sound off in the comment section.
If you'd like to get a shout out on the channel, then hit that like button, maybe share it with a couple of friends, and do us the biggest honor of all, and subscribe to the channel so you can join the 8-Bit Heroes family. And while you're at it, hit that bell icon so you can be notified when our new videos come out.